April 8, 1943. 27,000 feet above Caen. Oberleutnant Rolf Hermiken's grin hid behind his oxygen mask as he watched the bulky shapes clawing toward his formation. Through the clear glass of his Focke-Wulf 190A5, the veteran ace of JG-26 studied the newcomers. Massive American P-47 Thunderbolts, heavy and awkward. "They've sent us flying milk bottles," he joked over the radio, laughing as the lumbering shapes struggled to climb. Below, 16 Thunderbolts strained skyward, their Pratt and Whitney double wasps roaring under 7 tons of weight. To German eyes, used to sleek Spitfires and nimble Yaks, the barrel-bodied Americans looked ridiculous. Too fat, too slow, too clumsy. None of them could have guessed that these milk bottles would soon dismantle the Luftwaffe's fighter arm. Within 18 months, the sound of their 8 Browning .50 caliber guns would become the most dreaded music in German skies. That morning, Major Donald Blakesley led his new squadron into their first combat. The P-47 demanded unlearning everything pilots knew. It wasn't built for turning or climbing contests, but for brute force. While the Luftwaffe designed lightweight interceptors, Republic Aviation had built a monster of mass, altitude, and firepower. A sky-bound juggernaut that rewrote air combat. The Americans were novices. The Germans were hardened veterans. What followed was a contest of industry against experience. A clash where quantity and quality fused into dominance. The Thunderbolt was born of panic in 1940. As Europe burned, designer Alexander Kartveli answered the U.S. Army's call for a high-altitude interceptor and delivered a beast. "It will be a dinosaur," he warned, "but a well-proportioned one." The prototype that flew in 1941 stunned everyone. Gigantic, turbocharged, and heavier than anything before it. Yet at altitude, it thrived. Its supercharger feeding sea-level power at 27,000 feet, while German engines gasped. Early pilots despised it. It was unforgiving, dangerous to train in, and lethal to the unprepared. But those who mastered it found unmatched power. "You didn't fly it," said Robert Johnson. "You aimed it." At first, the Germans had reason to sneer. The P-47 couldn't turn with FW-190S or climb with BF-109S. Losses were heavy, and even the RAF doubted America's new fighter. But something the Luftwaffe missed was its resilience. Thunderbolts returned home riddled with holes that would have destroyed any other plane. When they hit back, their 8 guns shredded enemy fighters in seconds. That reality struck home on June 26, 1943, when Robert Johnson's P-47 was torn apart by cannon fire yet refused to die. Trapped in the cockpit, he flew the wreck home through storms of bullets, surviving over 200 hits. His plane should have been scrap metal. Instead, it proved indestructible. The Germans, stunned, realized this flying tank had changed the rules. By summer, American pilots had learned how to fight with it. "Don't turn with them," ordered Zemke. "Use your weight. Use your power." In a dive, nothing could match it. At 550 miles per hour, the Thunderbolt became a supersonic hammer. Pilots perfected boom and zoom tactics, striking from the stratosphere and vanishing before the Luftwaffe could react. Those who survived described facing a wall of lead. The Thunderbolt's full fury was revealed in the August 17th raids on Schweinfurt and Regensburg. Diving from 28,000 feet, P-47s tore apart German twin-engine fighters in seconds. Wings sheared off, aircraft vaporized. At 300 yards, all 8 guns converged into a 6-foot storm of destruction. 100 half-inch bullets per second. German pilots learned too late that sustained American gunfire could erase a plane before a cannon could reload. By autumn, altitude turned the tide. While German engines choked above 25,000 feet, the P-47's turbocharged heart thrived. When ace Hans Philipp tried to meet B-17s over Bremen, he met his end in a burst from a Thunderbolt. His aircraft vaporized mid-air. The message was clear. The Luftwaffe's best couldn't survive against America's flying fortresses. A year later, the new D-series Thunderbolts changed everything again. Paddle blade propellers gave them new climb and speed. The once mocked fat fighters could now chase and destroy their hunters. The deep roar of those blades, the thunderclap, became the soundtrack of German defeat. By 1944, with extended range and external tanks, the Thunderbolt guarded bombers deep into Germany. Luftwaffe aces, who once mocked it, now feared it. "We called them flying pigs," recalled Günter Roll. "But when they came down from the sun, no one laughed." Their guns didn't chatter. They roared in endless streams of death. Soon, the P-47 became more than a fighter. Loaded with bombs and rockets, it was flying artillery. In Normandy, it obliterated tanks, convoys, and trains with terrifying precision. German troops came to dread the sound of its dive.